for everybody. Okay, so welcome everybody to today's session. I'm Diana Gray. I'm the Community Marketing Manager for the Americas at UiPath. And today we're having our career day. This is part of the Associate Developer program that we ran a couple of weeks ago. We just want to make sure that you guys had time to finish up your self-paced learning and that we have a session to kind of take you through the next steps. Like, what do you do now that you've finished your training? And if you haven't finished your training, why not? You guys did a good job of attending all the sessions. We want to make sure that you're okay. So please don't forget that you can always still reach out to us on the forum if you're struggling or need help with any of your self-paced content, because at minimum, what you definitely want to do is get the training credential from UiPath, that you've completed that learning path. That's something that you can really highlight on your LinkedIn profile, on your resume. So please at least do that. And our team today will talk a little bit more about that. So I just want to introduce some of our star players today. First of all, as you know, we've teamed with the Next Innings. So we have Manjula, who's going to be talking today, and Rivatha, who is in the background helping coordinate all this. And they've been amazing throughout this whole series, just very dedicated, reaching out to everybody, keeping people on track, and just helping in every way possible. And then we also have three remarkable speakers today. We have Harika, we have Tracy, and we have Priya. I'm going to let them introduce themselves as they start talking, but we're going to kick off today with just having Harika introduce herself. She's going to get going, and then we're going to turn the session over to Manjula, who will kick it off into the next session. So
Thank you,
Harika, if you want to
Diana.
introduce, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. I'll just give a quick intro about myself. I have overall 10 years of experience into IT. I've started my career as a risk analyst, and then I have directed my journey towards testing later on, and then I landed myself into UiPath. Today, I'm working as a hyper automation consultant for First Abu Dhabi Bank in Dubai. And besides my professional career, I also have a YouTube channel where I passionately keep a lot of content on UiPath and the latest trends that happens in the technology. And also, I deliver a lot of webinars to UiPath community, and I've got recognized as an MVP for the year 24 and 25. So besides this, I also give a lot of trainings for AP State Government and the Government of India, where I've trained over 500 plus students across in order to, get their expertise towards UiPath. So this is a short introduction about myself.
Thank you, Harika, for sharing the journey. And we will just like Tracy to just come and then introduce yourself. Go ahead, Tracy.
Sure. So I'm Tracy Dixon. I actually just pressed send on my information. Actually, I went to Ravati. I'll send it out to everybody else, but would love to hear from all of you guys and to have you share your information also so we can all connect as part of the community. So I'm now a 6-year MVP. I'm in the US. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. Mother of 4 teenagers now. I have 4 dogs. So super busy life, but love to talk automation and to help people get back some time for themselves and their families and things that they want to do. So really happy to be here and happy to help.
Perfect. Awesome to hear about the super busy life, what you're just leading. Great. Thank you so much, Tracy. Let's just welcome Priya to just introduce yourself. Go ahead, Priya.
Yeah, hi. Thank everyone. Thank you so much for having me over here. I'm so glad. And I'm Priya Estevez. So I live in Houston, Texas. I'm also based in the US. And I have over 12 years of experience in IT in general. I started as a software developer, and here I'm as an automation solution architect today. And currently, I'm freelancing in automation, and I love to like mentor people, and I also like share my knowledge with through workshops and meetups and any way possible. So feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Great. So thank you so much. And my name is Manjula, and I'm your host as well as the founder of the Next Links today. And it's a brilliant session where we have just partnered with UiPath to bring you the session in practical ways. As you see, the three stalwarts where we are with us today. Similarly, every session you had a MVPs or a practical industry experts were leading the session about it. So this session is to sum it up any questions you have in the training to help you, as Diana said about it. Also to just give you narration of how do you navigate your career to the next level. That's where we have been partnered with UiPath to just handhold and then give you the sense of purpose as well as the pathway of how to navigate your career path about it. I just wanted to bring the three stalwarts today. They have some unique characteristics. I just thought I'll just highlight it. Harika today is not kept her video on, and the reason is her younger one, the toddler, is hospitalized. And today she said, "No, this is my day. I'll still come back from hospital and talk about you. What is that? I bring it on to the table." As she rightly said, she started as a process consultant. I was just going through her LinkedIn profile to look at that. Who is she about it? So Infosys, she just started as a process consultant, and today she's talking about from there sitting in Dubai and then talking about as an automation consultant. So that's a journey she has just carved out for her to just find out her passion. Also, she spoke about it. She's running a YouTube channel and then talk about it, how she is supporting the community. So that's a specialty. When you have a purpose and the passion, you would be doing additional other than your regular work to just find your next career goal. And I would like to take a moment to talk about Tracy too. Tracy, amazing career what you are just gone through, and you've been a part of an organization, you've been part of an entrepreneur, and you've been part of your just coming back to that. Every time when you just reinvent yourself, you've been just finding the purpose and then finding the networks and the commitment to just bring your passion over there. Nice to learn and more things from you today's session, Tracy. Thanks for joining us. It's really pleasure to be with you. All right. Similarly, we do have a Priya. Priya is also with the, she has just taken a career break just to take care of the little one at home, but it never stops her to just take a break. She continuously comes back and just find out how she can be the MVP, how she can contribute, how she can continuously just build the automation consultant freelancer mode to do that. So the reason we have just pulled out these three members are themselves is a good example for us to navigate the career wherever you are, whether you're just going to start from the non-IT to IT, or IT from one career to another career, or from the automation where you're just started to move on to the next career progression. These are all the ways where we can just learn from our existing stalwarts today to learn and understand how you can carve out the path. So, with that, I would like to just welcome Tracy to just start off. We have just done the training for the entire course, what we have picked it up. But how do we now get into the next step of taking up the certification? How do we build over there? Over to you, Tracy. Let us know to just figure it out how we can just get into that phase.
Sure thing. Do you guys want me to share my screen or you guys want to do it?
Please go ahead.
Let me do that. Can you see that okay?
Not yet.
I'll give it a minute.
Yep.
Doesn't show still?
No, we can't see it.
All right, let me press another button here.
Yes, it's coming up.
All right, there we go. All right, so you guys have probably seen some of this before. If you haven't, definitely take a look. It's the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Gartner being a company that looks at different applications and essentially ranks them in the squares. So UiPath has been in the upper right, which is where everyone wants to be for quite a while. So as far as platforms to learn, that's where you want to be. That's where the most opportunities are. That's where the growth is. Obviously, you can see that they're well rated. UiPath is as far as their vision and their ability to execute and keep the platform fresh and up to date and with the latest tech in it. So definitely the place to be. Continue on that path of learning more about UiPath. I know we're all there's so many products. It's hard for us to keep up these days, but you don't have to know all of them, but definitely knowing some piece of that platform gives you the most future career opportunities. So I know myself a few years ago was focused primarily on technical project management, and intentionally went out and looked for something else that I could add to my skill set, just to give me more opportunities for growth and to do things that I enjoyed. And actually came to RPA and settled on UiPath. So I did the same assessment as you guys. So they do some annual surveying every year and like to talk to folks to hear their stories. You definitely hear anecdotally about people having certification and it getting them further in their career path. I know for me, there wasn't specifically anything where I'd get a monetary bonus or anything like that when I first got certified. However, it opened up a whole world of projects to get into that I otherwise would not have been on. And actually, I'm fully committed to automation now. So it opened up a whole career journey for me that really that whole group was just forming then. So I didn't even know what the possibilities were. But it definitely, everything that I do these days is generally focused on process improvement and automation. So it gave me lots of opportunities. And I'm sure there'll be many more in the future to come that we don't even know about yet, that the technology expands so quickly. I know additionally, as far as our group, we work for a consulting firm and we have many clients that we do automation work for, whether it be technical or business oriented. For those that have less experience, maybe they're newer to the idea of automation or the automation industry, certification can be a really good thing to see on the resume whenever there's not a whole lot of experience there. So it's a good way to show that you have learned, that you validated that learning in a professional way. And it's definitely something that we take into consideration and would be willing to hire for whenever there's not much career experience. So you can choose the path of learning and getting your certification without having to have that background experience at your workplace. There may not be an opportunity for that. I know in addition to that, I always encourage folks to go to organizations that are near and dear to you. Like charities, for example, there are very few charities I think that would decline anyone willing to offer them some help, especially in the way of reducing the administrative burden, which all of them are always looking to do in order to really fulfill whatever that charity's role is in general. So would encourage everybody to gain experience that way and to use certification as a way to really establish yourself and start direction of getting into automation, either as a career or as a portion of your existing role or the career that you want to be in. It could be part of all of us, whether we specialize or not. So the stats are still there, the future of jobs, there's still a ton of them in automation. And then when you commingle that with AI that's being embedded all over the place, marry the two, there's a whole ton of opportunity. And for me personally, I'm starting to hear more and more that that you do need a little bit more technical know-how these days in order to use some of these technologies, that the agentic AI, and combine them with RPA. It's not something that everyone on the business side can do anymore. And so I'm curious to see how that'll expand over the next few years. So very encouraging to see more folks interested in technical certification and getting details on automation on both the business and tech side. You have tons of options. I know a few years ago, back when I started getting my certification, we had the development certification. That was it. But now there's a whole world open to you. What I love about the UiPath programs are that you don't have to have any particular thing, just the knowledge. You don't have to have a certain number of years of experience or validate any particular background. As long as you have the knowledge, you can run with it. So I'd encourage you guys not just to pursue the developer certification that you're after now, but not to stop there and to continue on. It certainly can't hurt, even if that's not the role that you want to be in necessarily, but just as an added benefit, so you have greater understanding in your current role or the role you want to be in next. It's very useful. aside from that, on the business side, I'd love to see well-rounded folks in technology that can speak to the business just as well and understand and be the bridge between people that are non-technical. So don't stop once you get your first certification, and make sure that you fully pursue that, which leads us to our next point. So I myself would probably put the schedule and take the exam before the learn and prepare. Or for me, I know it can be, you don't notice the days and weeks passing by, and may not get to things, but once you put an exam date out there, you tend to want to keep that and not have to reschedule it. So I would encourage all of you, if you have not scheduled your exam already, to go out and schedule it, figure out the length of time, what your goals are related to things, and then start pursuing that with a date on the calendar that you're working toward, as opposed to going and scheduling it when you feel prepared, because it can sometimes be hard to feel prepared ever with everything else going on in life. So definitely encourage any of you that have not scheduled the exam to get that on the calendar today. So you have that consistent goal to work toward. I know that was my approach with my exams, to put a date out there, and then to work toward it. Just shared a little bit more information about what the job market looks like. I feel like all of you guys, you're in the right place. There are plenty of jobs coming. There will be plenty of need in the future. And these are just the current stats, and it tends to get bigger than predicted over time. So make sure that you're in an area that you're enjoying, whatever aspect of automation that may be, because the roles are there. We're always looking for people. I know in our firm, clients there's definitely more people looking than there are folks these days, at least, people that are certified and well prepared. And we'll send this out. All of the deck information will be available for everyone, so you can pull any information that you'd like, but encourage all of you to keep on going, to not have put in the effort to get this far and not to go actually pursue the certification exam, because that's really the proof of all of your hard work. So don't let that go to waste. Make sure that you've got that on the calendar. So I thought I'd share with you some of the average salaries by region of the world. The IT is really where it's at. It can be difficult, more because we all have to be willing to come back on something that we may not have figured out one day, and come back again and again until we do figure it out. All of us do that. I still hit the wall at times now, but I'm willing to go back and think through a solution again the next day. So even if you are in the certification path and get to some difficult part, don't be stuck without reaching out. Encourage all of you, because it happens to all of us. I know just amongst the MVP team, we're always throwing something out to each other, or some issue we're experiencing, how we got past it. So make sure that you're not on an island by yourself, because you've got a whole community of people to help get past that. And the reward of that is that the salaries in technology, especially kind of the cutting edge technology that automation and agentic AI are becoming, you get well rewarded for it. So that's really why. It's just that tenacity to come back the next day and keep on going to figure out solutions for yourselves, companies, whoever it may be. So want to read more details on certification. Hopefully you guys have all taken a look out here already, but want to maybe look into what may be next on the horizon for you. Make sure that you go out to the certification site. And then, like I mentioned, don't be stuck on something and not reach out. All of us are really excited to help other people. We love to talk automation. We love to give back and help others the way that people helped us as we were learning. And so make sure you reach out in the community, on the forums, and the Slack channel, and any other communication methods we put out there, like LinkedIn and email and so on, because we love to help. So very encouraged to see you guys get dates out there, and to start pursuing your certification, and let us know all how it goes. That's it for me.
Thank you, Tracy. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. And indeed to great to know about it. There are multiple opportunities for a certification. It need not be a developer part of it. They opened a whole bunch of it, like your discovery of a business analyst, from the even a testing automation, how we can just do that part of it with infrastructure. Amazing to know about the insights, and everybody can be part of the game. And my apologies, I supposed to be calling Harika, and I just wish over the turn. Sorry about it. And in a way, it just paves a good way to know about it. Certification alone is not the only game, and we can also just find out from the career, moving from one direction to how do we do the other direction in a meaningful and purposeful way with the passion what you are just doing. Harika, please come over here and then share your insights about your journey, how it transformed, for us to know more about from your story. Go ahead.
Sure, Manjula. Thank you so much. So first of all, as I mentioned in my introduction, I've started as a risk analyst. So basically, coming from a non-IT background, and I can actually correlate with a lot of beginners, especially when I'm giving training for college students. So the common question is, I am from a non-IT background, and how can I? Is it like can I make a career in UiPath? This is the main question that I listen from everybody when I go for trainings. So actually, when I was doing my graduation, at that point of time, I was not sure, like which one to actually pick. And coming from a non-IT background, it was really hard for me to actually land up into a tech job, because there are a lot of coding rounds which I used to not able to crack, basically because of not having so good expertise at the coding. But then my urge to learn and to actually get into a developer role have not let me stop from all these barriers. So what I actually appreciate, one thing about myself is this: I always feel there's always an urge for me to keep learning, and I always take an inspiration from the people around. So let's say, for example, even today in my current team, if there is somebody who is doing something good, and if I don't know about that, I will definitely take that chance to learn from them. I believe this is one thing that have actually helped me in order to not stop at one point. So basically, I started from process executive, and then I took a mentorship from one of my teammates, and then I landed a job in testing. And from there, I parallelly started learning automation. And I, as I didn't get any projects, so I kind of have to do something out of the box. So basically, I did a freelancing, so for which I definitely took help of my teammates and my friends and colleagues. But however, it's a hustle. If you wanted to try out something and land up for if you wanted to aim for something big, I feel in the beginning stage you have to hustle. It does not matter how much you're getting paid, or your salary is less or high, but if you want a goal to be achieved, I feel you have to keep that time and effort, and especially consistency is really, really important. So that's in where I actually took support from my friends, and I actually landed a job in freelancing as well, which helped me to gain a lot of knowledge in automation. And also, I should mention that I'm blessed with very good team leaders who actually supported me, appreciated me for all the efforts that I was putting in, and gave me the right opportunities at right time, because this is really important. Even if you're working hard, you may get demotivated at some point in time. So I would say that I have got the right opportunity when I was actually giving my best. So then I shifted my journey into UiPath slowly as a developer, and then into solution architect, and now today I'm working as a hyper automation consultant. Not just that, I also lead Automate Together program in First Abu Dhabi Bank, where I actually deliver trainings for lots and lot of people through citizen development. So these are the things that I'm doing very passionately today in my current role. And even today, I have something that I'm aiming for, and I definitely believe through this consistency, I would be able to achieve that soon. So
Harika, we are missing you.
am I audible now, Manjula?
Now we are audible. Please go ahead. The last bit we have missed you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was mentioning that I'm actually leading hyper citizen development in my organization, along with working as a hyper automation consultant. So even today I'm aspiring for something, like even in my team there are people who excel at what they're doing. So I wanted to achieve and learn something from them. I always think that you have to get inspired by people, that healthy working atmosphere where you maybe there's a healthy competition, but always getting inspired from somebody else will help you to stay help you actually to grow in your career. That's what I feel. Maybe this is something that helped me to grow instead of landing or staying at the same place in the career, because it there's always somebody in the team or in your environment who can inspire you with something that they're doing. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarika. And once again, apologies for bringing you second. Sorry about it. But however, the kind of thoughts I had a good learning today. Just to summarize what you have just said, just for the audience, once again, as a recap. So, when you just started, you had a mentor who can just help you to just transition from your process to our next job, which I've just able to pick it up. And second, you always had a urge of finding something new and curiosity of not letting go, or development is something non new to me. You said no, that is also easy for me to figure it out, and you had a curiosity to build on it. And the third one, you were also talking about, I had a good people around it, and I'm passionately willing to just help, and then take the being a hustler to just go and grab every opportunity. I think if we are able to take that as a summary for all of us, we would be able to keep growing regardless of the job market, regardless of whatever is the industry is going through. We should be able to do that. Excellent. And as I was just saying in the beginning, this is a good example. You're sitting in hospital with the kid, but still you said no, I will just come and then talk about without video as well, just to give it. Thank you so much, Harika. It means a lot, and love you for
Actually,
sharing.
for that, Manjula, maybe I have to support. I have to actually, give the credit to my family, because they are a constant support to me. Because with the baby, it's not easy to, to handle work, baby, and then office and YouTube and all of this. So I should definitely have to give credit to my family, because as I committed for this program since some time, they were like, okay, just go give your portion, and then come back. So I should definitely thank them, because without them I would not be able to do this.
Absolutely. And kudos to them for just supporting you, and keep rocking, Harika. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. Good. Right. So now we have a one another amazing speaker who's just going to share about it. Taking a break is not something I need to be worried about it. This is the part of a life I can just handle it, and I'm enjoying and being continuously touching the technology what I wanted to be part of it. Priya, over to you, and then just inspire us with your journey.
Thank you, Manjula. It was so lovely hearing, Tracy and Harika's journey as well. I was so touched. And I feel like I can definitely associate with both of them, both of their experiences. Just like Tracy, I'm also been working in the consulting space. And when I decided to take a break for my family, it was a choice that I had made. So again, like that's a choice that people should not be afraid to make, because like in today's world, if you look at like all the like people say that the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, like all of them are like talking about making an impact to the world. So what is that impact? So like look into yourself, what is your goal that you want to achieve? So each and every one of us, I ask every participant to look like what's more important to you. For me, like I was at the peak of my career, and that's when like I thought like my goal or like my priority at the moment was my family. So that's when I chose like, okay, it's not bad. Like it's not bad to take a choice that you need for your life. Okay, so never feel bad, don't regret any choices that you made, just own it. And you just have to be accountable for your own choices. And I am so happy and grateful for this for the God, universe, whatever you call it, to for having made those choices, because like knowing like what knowledge that I had as a solution architect, as a consultant, every skill that I brought in, I was able to adapt that to my life. So I'll tell you a funny story. So once I got pregnant, and then like I was also playing the role of Scrum Master in my consulting role. So you couldn't take all of those skills away from me. So what happened was when I started like being pregnant and I had to prepare for my baby shower, I went and created my own backlog for a baby registry, and I had to go through like sprint iterations to refine my sprint, and I had to like go through like 6 or 7 sprints before I finalized my baby registry. So it's like those skills that you build over time gets applied to your life. So the same way, like even today, like when I say like I took a break, I wouldn't say like I took a break at all, because like handling a toddler, it's basically project management. Because if you can handle like several different tasks, handle multiple different schedules, and oversee different teams, that's the same thing that you do in your day-to-day job. So you need to be able to transition and translate your skills that you have into something that is more like career oriented. Tracy, you have something to add?
I I have the same thing. You can't fire them. They're illogical at times. Your negotiation skill level has to really increase. I went straight from project management. I also ended up staying home once I had my surprise twins for a few years until my son went back. But re-entering, I didn't have any problem re-entering, especially in the technology field. I didn't have a pay reduction because of it, so it was well worth it to take the few years off and to be gratified by my children for a while until I was ready to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. When people take a break and they come back, they should be able to translate the skills that you've developed in your parenthood. Just like you said, right now I'm dealing with a toddler. I'm sure Harika would be able to translate, like relate to this as well. And Tracy, for sure, you have like so many kids, you'll be able to relate to this. Is that like the interpersonal skills, the communication, the level of communication that you build, and the negotiation skills that you build, you can translate that to sales marketing. Because if you could sell broccoli as a healthy snack over a chocolate chip cookie, you're a good marketer. You can sell any RPA solution to your clients. And that's the same thing. And if you could handle like multiple play dates, handling like different like other people's kids, and like you're basically mentoring. And here comes the best practice: when you meet other parents and share your best practices, what works for you, what works for your nap schedule versus for them. So that's basically like understanding what's the industry standard here, like what's everybody doing. So these are things that you need to be able to translate from what you've learned in your parenthood into your professional skills. So I wouldn't say like people taking like 15-year break or something. I would say you've got 15 years of project management skills. You've got like conflict management skills, especially if you've got multiple kids. Like what is crisis management, because at this point you would have like separated hundreds of fights, separated, like give them like what's more important, setting the priorities, setting like the goals, and setting like what's more important, and analyzing what's in your backlog, because there are chores to do and things to be done, and you need to make sure that you are ahead of things, on top of things. Because whatever happens, the project called life never stops. You still got to keep going. So always learn to translate what's a part of your motherhood, and the skills that we learn as parents, you need to be able to share. If you're able to like talk to another adult, talk to another parent, and learn that those skills are very valuable that you've learned. Because not every lessons need to be like experienced by yourself. You can always like reach out for help. And I would say like this community has been amazing, because when I came into UiPath, I was brand new, and like when I got to meet Tracy and like how our experiences were like very similar, I was like so surprised. I was so happy. And every time I would go to a summit or to a meetup, I learned something new. And being in the tech industry, it's very very important that all you do is like just keep yourself up to date. Because when I decided to take my break, I still had this passions that I couldn't let go of. UiPath became a part of me that I just couldn't let go of. I was even reaching out to Diana and seeing like, okay, can any MVP help me build a robot for, analyzing what's my diaper schedule look like, when do I need to change diapers, like what is this? Because remember, parenthood is something that nothing can prepare you for that. There's no degree, there's no courses, although I did take 4 workshops, how to take care of newborn and like all of that. I tried to prepare myself, but still there are things that you learn on the job. So the same way, if you're switching careers, if you're coming out of like a break, a big break, it's nothing bad, okay? You can always learn the skill, because like we weren't born with UiPath or AI skills to begin with. We all develop this over time, and this takes practice. So if you are willing to spend time and invest in yourself, invest in the sense like learn, practice and reach out to people to say like, hey, what do you know that I don't know, so that you can learn from each other. Because like I will tell you, like Tracy's really good at like process mining or like consulting, so I would always like reach out to her and I like ask like, hey, can you help me out here? And when you learn that way, you are building your knowledge, so that is basically investing. And again, like I cannot believe that this is for free, because there are communities out there, there are, like for mentorship you have to pay, you have to like subscribe. But here it's an area where you are free to learn. And in today's world there are like hundreds of AI tools that come out as we speak, so it's really hard to keep up. But pick one and see what's aligning with your goals, like with your career goals, and stick to it. Okay. Another funny story is like, speaking of AI, this came up to me. It was that like, you can never take the tech personality from me, because I'm just like so much like solution oriented that I couldn't like keep myself away. So when I had my newborn, like right before leaving the hospital, I basically like subscribed to an AI software where it basically like gave me reminders on how often I need to feed my child, how often I need to change, or like what are the best practices and standards that are available. Over the period of 6 months, I collected this amount of data that I got to analyze. So by the time it was time for me to go to the summit, which is like the first time away from my child, and he was basically 6 months old, at that point in time, I was like, how am I going to feed him? How much milk do I need to pump? Like, all that data, I had it ahead in time. So I was able to analyze the data and say, like, okay, this is the amount of milk that he will need. So I was being able to prepare myself for some unknown situation. And all of this is like unknown waters. You can easily navigate knowing that there is like people that have already done that. So again, like taking a break is not bad. And like you don't have to always like go off the grid and completely like become a hermit crab and not knowing like what's going on. Rather, you can like instead of scrolling on Instagram or like YouTube, you could use like UiPath as like your doom scrolling time, where you could like just learn a little bit about like AI or what's new, or read some blogs, so that way like you also like keep up with what's coming, because there's hundreds of products that keeps coming up, and it's really really hard. But if you spend like maybe like 20 minutes 30 minutes each day, it's not bad at all. Even in today's job, like you could be a tester, you want to switch to a different role, I wouldn't say like only focus on what you currently have in your role. There's always something new, because with the agentic AI coming out, all our roles could be like something completely new. In like 5 years down the lane or 10 years down the lane, we all could be like wearing different hats. You could be writing, just building AI agents, or giving them guidance on like how to behave, because these are goal oriented. Okay. So here's where like our skills are being refined and changing every day. So feel free to step into like new, unknown area. Don't feel scared. It's okay. So
Awesome.
that's all I say. Thank you.
Awesome, Priya. It is you're completely blowing us out saying that, okay, I just learned something. I also apply it in real time wherever I am, right? So, right from your Scrum to project management and transformation of one data to another, analyze and then bring it over there. kudos to you, and it is really good to know about it. Taking a break is always good, provided we just get to know what we wanted to do, how we wanted to do, and how we wanted to just transform that. And one another thing you will keep talking about it is bring it to a practical application skill when you have just taken a break. For example, Tracy and you are resonating with that. We have a kids and n number of time conflict to negotiation to managing the crisis, everything we just know about it. So knowing your technology and putting that across how we are going to apply is another great takeaway for me to just learn about it. Thank you so much for just bringing that. Thank you. So before we just getting into the Q&A, and also I have a interesting other where we just wanted to talk about the agentic workforce. We just spoke about it. We are just going to come back, and this is a good segue where you can just understand from the experts where they were able to transform their career in every stage. How did they just do about it? So now it is a right segue for me to just introduce about who we are, how we can handle all of you while the experts are talking about. So allow me to talk about the next innings, why we are just partnered with UiPath, how we can just transition, and then I would like to just take up the Q&A as well as the other important question which we have it on store for all of you. Allow me to share my screen. Is my screen is visible?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. So here is the next innings where we are partnered with UiPath to just all of you with your career transition, how we can just help you by bringing the right resources, experts after doing the RPA courses. How do you correlate? How will you be able to bridge your career or transform your career from one another profession where you wanted to come back to that? So the next innings, we just as a platform to just build the career services for all the professional. In India, we call ourselves her second innings exclusively for women to bring women back to work when they go for a sabbatical. The way Priya is just talking about, I'm in sabbatical, what should I just do? So here is the her second innings. We'll just tell you about it. We hold you and then bring back. But we just realize that it is not just the her second innings. Everybody need that transition. It is just not for women. So that's the idea where we just started the platform called The Next Innings. The way you will be just going through here would be understanding the different technology skills needed based on the market outlook, what is your passion about it, and then map yourself. And then we'll also go back to the corporate. They are certified, they are having a project experience. It's the right time to just handle them and then bring them back. So we are the bridge between the corporate and the professional to just transition the career journey, whatever they are looking for as per the industry standard. So what is that the next innings have just done that? So it is a tech platform we have just building as Priya was talking about. In 6 months, I know about what time I have to change the diaper, what time I have to just give, what amount of milk I have to just feed like that. So this is a tech platform where we have just created it to just take your profile and figure it out by matching that jobs. Where is your right profile will fit into that? So that's a technology part of it, what we have just done. But the beauty of it is just not the technology alone. If you just look at that, it is also held by the industry experts, HRs, as well as the community. So it is also building the gig economy over here where the HRs would be thriving. It's like imagine like a Uber. You can just take any vehicle and you can go anywhere and then come back. So the community have been built with the talent partners as well as the community gig workforce where they would be able to help the moment job comes to identify the profile as well. So at the end of it, what happens? The corporate is able to find the talent within 2 to 15 days to fulfill that. So that's the engine what we have just built in the next innings. And when they're just going to get that, they will also be getting the assessed candidate. Corporate would be able to choose to get the assessed candidate so that their interview cycle becomes very short. On top of it, they can also ask us to do the interview service or as a project service to just fulfill whatever the qualification they wanted to do. The community and the partner support will just jump in and then make sure within the 2 to 45 days, what we are talking about would be able to fulfill that. So these are all some of the clients where we are supporting them and then seeing the success with us, how we are just supporting their journey. And what is that we are trying to do with UiPath? So, as Priya rightly said about it, this is one of the community where you come for a zero cost learning. You don't need to pay. Industry experts come and then handhold you. So that's the beauty of the UiPath collaboration, where you would be able to learn all the practical skills over here, and you would be able to apply it with the different projects. That's one of the topic we are going to talk about it. How do you apply in the projects about it? And from there, we are just trying to just help all of you to navigate the career to identify the paths. So anything if you are looking for changing the career or transforming, just connect with us. We should be able to guide you how to go about on that. So this is our email ID, just support at thenextinnings.com. And you are also connected with the WhatsApp, also in our group. Revati is our Spock. Just connect with us and happy to support. So with that, I would like to just take this next journey to talk about it. Some of the questions what you have just asked us before, and I'm going to ask them. In fact, if you have any other burning question, feel free to just add it over here. Happy to just address to the experts. Right. So now, Priya and Tracy, I just wanted to talk about it, the agentic workforce and the performer and the dispatcher part of it, which we have just spoken about it. We would like to understand about it. How do you get the expertise of building that on those topics to create a project around it? Anybody can just chime in and help me out.
So those are two different questions, I guess. So one about the agentic AI. So the agentic AI, you basically use the agentic builder, which I think like they've been in preview. I don't know if they are GA yet, but you can definitely check the automation cloud portal. Once it's available, then they have a couple of pre-built agents that you could use from, and then you can add your the user prompts and the system prompts, and then configure the additional tools, like if you had any APIs or any processes that need to be run, that can be added along with it. And it also supports like context grounding, so if you do have like any set of context or data indices that it needs to be looked at, that can be added as well. So that way the agent has the goal that is clearly defined, and that way the agent can perform in a way and what action that it needs to take. And it also has the escalation routes where you could have the human in the loop, which can be an action center or performing a process or emailing somebody. You can define like what needs to be done, and that way the agentic workflow can help what's your organizational goals.
Okay,
And
so can you just, yeah, with the
yeah.
agentic workforce, can you also give us a one use case for the organization where they can just think through and then figure it out how they can just deploy it?
Yes. So the agentic AI, I wouldn't like, for the beginners, I would first focus on the basic project organization. I know there are two parts to it. So I think your question has two parts. So first is the agentic AI, which I just addressed, which is the agentic builder. Okay. And then you would use the Maestro product, which is for the project organization. I mean, like for the agentic orchestration, where you would like connect multiple agents or processes and what needs to be done. But to your second question, which is the project organization, I think first we need to understand the foundations. Like there are certain best practices that we need to follow. So whenever like keep aside the agentic AI topic, and first of all, just talking about automation in general, whenever we build automations, I would say like keep a couple of best practices in mind. First of all, whenever you choose your workflow, it needs to be like selected according to what's your need. The workflow layout needs to be correctly like selected. So either what are you choosing, whether it's a flow chart or a sequence, or you're going to use RE framework. If you're using RE framework, how do you utilize it? Because the RE framework is basically a template that gives you a basic blueprint that comes with like its own exception handlers, and that can easily like help you with the transactional process. So you need to choose the layout based on that. And then you have the dispatcher performer model that will work for again transactional processes, where your dispatcher, you're basically just loading the data, loading the data over to the queue. This is like, getting the data from the data source and putting it on a queue. And then your performer is the one that gets the values, each value from queue, and does the actions for each transaction. So that's where, like, I would say, like, first focus on the RE framework in Studio, and then get yourself familiar with that. Once you build a couple of processes using the RE framework, then you will get comfortable building your automations. So then you can transition, like the agentic AI is the next level. Like that's a different topic. Tracy.
Understood.
Yep, totally agree that I would go to learn agentic only after you felt like you had the foundation beneath you. But I think the most important thing, like you were talking about, is to know what kind of project. Do you have a transactional project or do you not? If I'm pulling a report and say I'm doing something to automate sending my bank statement to myself, that's not really a transactional project. It just runs through once a month. But if I am doing something for work where it's processing 20 things or 100 things, that would lend itself to transactional processing, where I typically do want to use the RE framework because it's got so many built-in pieces that I then don't have to worry about to make sure that each item processes, and if one fails, that it doesn't stop the whole thing as it might otherwise. So knowing those basics, when to select the right thing is important. And then I think once you have a little experience on your belt, then understanding when to bring in an agent, which is a bit of a different concept, and the newer technology where the training is just starting to come out now. So all of us are very new to that. They don't feel behind. If you don't know much about agents or very little at all, definitely start out on the RE framework side, especially if you're pursuing development certification. That's where you want to put your knowledge these days.
Agreed. Right. Let's just talk about the a transactional, or if we have a project where we can just put the project organization through the RE framework or whatever the methodology we are just going to use about it. If somebody has just learned and they wanted to get the experience out of that, how we can just build it, what kind of projects from the community they can pick it up to get the expertise over there? Any pointers for the community members?
Yeah, so I think I would give credit to Harika for this. Like in one of our discussion sessions, she did mention about a website called Bots DNA that's built by one of our community members in India as well. So that one gives like, real time. I can just quickly pull it up if I could, just a second. So this one is basically so hold on.
Yeah, you have to share the screen. It has not yet come to
Yeah.
us. Share. Yeah.
So this one basically gives a couple of real-time example. So this is the basic site. And again, thanks to Harika for this, for sharing this. So here they have a couple of use cases, the real-time use cases that have been used. So you can basically look for, like, let's say, I think the easiest one would be loan status or loan recovery. So they have like a sample data. So if you first, I wouldn't say start with this. First off, I would say go to Academy. Once you've finished the course, once you've done all the practical exercises, because they have the Acme website where you can actually like practice the RE framework. Once you've gotten comfortable with that, and you know like how to interact with queues, how to use orchestrator, how to assign all these values, once you know like what's a variables, what's arguments, once you know all of this, then come here to challenge yourself. So this is just like taking it one notch up, just doing your own homework. Okay. So they've given you like basic requirements to say like, okay, here are the bank names, here are the bank codes, and you basically like check if this bank loan process has been approved or not. And then you have to basically upload the report in this specific format. So they have a couple of use cases that you could test out and see what works for you. Okay, so if you just go to Bots DNA and go to services, you can pick your own real-time project. And this is very similar to the RPA challenge as well. So I would say first start off with the academy.
Yeah, agreed. And then if you get past doing an example like this, I think over time you'll start to have an idea of something that you might want to do for yourself, whether it be personal or at work. I know I started to get those ideas pretty early at the beginning, and then would encourage you to go off and do something that's gratifying to yourself, because those are the best projects when you really want to accomplish it. Because for me, it was not having to look at my kids' grades on a website every day, which was so terrible for 4 kids and 7 classes and took forever. I had automated that not long after I started learning automation, and it was like the best bot I've ever built to this day still, because I still don't have to do that. So I was very happy about it. Not so much my kids, but I was very happy about it.
Great. Yes, so this is a one great example you have shared, and thanks to Harika for just showcasing that opportunity is available. The other question we received is if we build projects like what Tracy or you are talking about from the personal experience, something from based on our own data, when we just do that through the community, can we just get a kind of a peer review or a peer projects we can join together to do that? Is there any opportunities available which you're aware of it, both of you?
Yeah, I mean, so there are multiple ways that you could do this, right? So if you're just looking for feedback on what you've built, you could definitely reach out to any of the community member. You could do that, just one-on-one, or if you want to share that, then you could use the meetups to share like what you've built, here's the solution. And if you have something really at a different level where it could be a reusable component, that can go through the review process on the marketplace as well. And another step would be like if you had ideas and like you want to build more use cases, I would definitely look up the hyperhack hackathons that are coming up, because that's another amazing way to showcase your knowledge, like what you've built, or identifying a problem and you providing a solution. And you can definitely reach out to Diana on like the hackathons and when they are happening. And that's a really great way to bring more solutions and showcase yourself.
Absolutely, I'm just with you on that. And yes, more hackathon. And even for in India, people are just attending. There's a dev conferences just coming
Yes.
up very soon. So that's another one way to just go and explore what's happening in the industry. It's a one big one over here in India. So thanks for just sharing that. And so there is a one question just came. So if you can just help us, any of you, that would be easy for us to understand. Is there a RPA developer opportunity in a blockchain industry? Anyone would like to pick it up?
I thought there might be a job section in the forum. I know on the community UiPath Slack, which is in the deck I presented earlier, there is a career channel out there. I was just looking out at the forum to see. I thought there was maybe something out here where there was discussion on jobs that's newer, but I'm not seeing it quite yet. Either way, at least you have that Slack area to go take a look at, where people would post jobs. As somebody who's looking for a particular type of role, it's perfectly fine to go out there and ask if anyone has an opportunity available that might be specifically blockchain.
And Martins, I would say like if you don't find a job in that specific blockchain industry, if you are working there, I would say like identify what's the bottleneck and create your opportunity. Build an automation that brings a solution for the problem that you're currently facing and show them the value that this automation could bring. Let's say it could be the number of hours that you save, or the manpower, or the time, or the effort. So there are areas, like if you say like, oh, there's no RPA jobs, if you are, let's say, because I've worked with like a lot of finance, like accountants and people that think they don't need automation, but once you show the value that this could bring, then they feel like, oh my God, my day-to-day life, my everyday productivity has increased so much.
And
Absolutely.
I
So yeah, go
out on the
ahead.
forum, there's a job board out here. So if you go out to the forum and look up job board, you should be able to get access to that. I'm not sure if that's just for folks that are posting roles, or if everyone can look at it, but I know that that's a new feature. Diana, do you know more about that? Whether everyone has access to the job
No,
boards
I
out in
think
the forum?
I agree with you. I think the only way, I mean, we're getting into like really clear details here on different. So I think with everything, you would look on your job boards, Dice, you would look dice.com, you'd look at linkedin.com, and then you know, just follow those. You'll find those job descriptions. And if not, our again forum, UiPath forum has some job offerings too.
I know just putting the word UiPath out on my LinkedIn at some point, I started to get people pinging me all the time, so it should not be difficult at all. And even just that you're pursuing certification or training is worthwhile to put out there as well.
So probably we session for how do you get the career on that. If required, we can arrange a session. We can continuously hold the career conversation. We can just take you through the different job or customize on a playbook for you how we can just do that. That probably we can just take it separately to just give you that orientation how we can navigate the job part of it. So once again, thank you so much for Tracy, Priya, and Harika, three of you, just for bringing. The moment Diana just put the screen on, I just understood it's time to just wrap up. So we have just come to the one session. Thank you so much, Diana, for just bringing that clarity. Thank you so much, and wishing you all the best and keep in touch. We are all here to handle everyone and then take the transition. And any help, happy to support. Over to you, Diana.
No, everybody, thank you so much for participating in this series. Just so you know, we're also going to be teaming up on several more series this year. So if you haven't, make sure that you register for our chapters, especially the America chapter. Please join that so you guys can hear any announcements that come out. But thank you so much for everybody's support today, and we will see you later. Thank you.
Yes. Have a good day. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.